We're inching closer to having an actual budget passed in Congress, which is sadly a monumental feat these days. The deal, which would fund the government for 2 years, passed a procedural vote earlier today, 67 to 33. We're expecting a final vote in the Senate tomorrow. 12 Republicans joined with Democrats to move forward with the bill, but Republican Senator Kelly Ayotte of New Hampshire voted against it. She opposes the deal. She joins me now from Capitol Hill. Senator Ayotte, good to see you again. I know part of the reason you oppose this budget is because of these military retiree cuts, which we'll get to in a second. But I want to talk about a broader issue first. Let's listen to a colleague of yours, one with whom you often agree, Senator John McCain. He spoke on the Senate floor just a short while ago.
I have concerns about the budget deal. Everybody, I think, does, because the nature of the way business is done. But to somehow vote against it without an alternative to keep the budget, to keep the government from shutting down, then I think lacks some intellectual integrity.
What's your response to Senator McCain? What's the alternative?
Well, Jake, the deal includes cuts to current military retirees, including those who have been retired because of a disability. So if they had their legs blown off in Afghanistan, we're now going to cut their cost of living increase. It's wrong. And by the way, that's about $6 billion. I've already filed 2 amendments. Unfortunately, those won't be taken up. That will pay for this cost to our military retirees. We're going to spend trillions of dollars over the next decade. It's absurd to suggest that we have to shut down the government just to protect those who have taken the bullets for us and have sacrificed the most for our country, who are singled out in this deal. The federal employees, actually, the changes to their retirement apply only to new hires. This is wrong in terms of the priorities of the nation.
Would you rather see a partial government shutdown than see this budget pass with these cuts to veterans' benefits?
There's not going to be a government shutdown, Jake. It's $6 billion of this deal. We could figure this out quickly if there was interest on both sides of the aisle. There's no reason to shut the government down. That is a false choice. As you know, I've already found 2 myself, and that didn't take me long to do. So the notion that we couldn't get together on a bipartisan basis, particularly to protect our disabled veterans who are going to see a cut to their retirement, the COLAs that they should receive under this, I think we can do that. And by the way, people are so anxious to get home for the holidays. How about we work a little harder here and stay longer if we have to resolve this on behalf of our men and women in uniform. This is very important to them, and given what they've done to our country, I think we could do that.
Hard to disagree with that, but let me play devil's advocate for a second, because I have heard some proponents of this budget argue that this is a common sense reform. It reduces annual cost of living adjustments in veteran pay by 1%, but I'm told it's not for those who are disabled. You're saying it is.
Well, it is.
Okay.
The Office of the OSD, the Defense Department, this morning told me and told my office, after we pushed them for an answer, that it applies to disabled veterans' retirement as well. So It's absolutely wrong.
But in any case, it applies to veterans probably when they retire around 40 until they turn after about 20 years of active service, and then when they're in their 60s, the COLA increases back again. Now, people are painting this as a common sense reform, and obviously there should be other reforms that take place in other parts of the government. But, I mean, is your position that there should never be any changes to veterans' benefits?
No, here's my question. Why is it in this entire budget deal that they're the only group that gets cuts to their current benefits? Of all the people we would cut first, our veterans, our disabled veterans, whereas the federal employees, it only applies to new hires. I don't understand the priorities here. So it's one thing if there's some form of shared sacrifice that we're looking across the government, and make no mistake, what this does for an E7 who's enlisted retires at age 40, it could mean $72,000 in loss until age 62. That's a lot of money for someone whose average retirement is roughly $25,000 a year with a family.
No, it's a fair point. It's a fair argument. How do you respond to critics who say, look, recent food stamp cuts affected somewhere around 900,000 veterans, many of them probably in more dire need than some of these veterans you're standing up for now. Where were you on those food stamp cuts?
Well, Jake, where are they on these current cuts to their military retirements that they have earned for fighting for our country. I mean, I don't understand why all of a sudden we're going to turn this around and say, let's cut some more from our veterans. I think that we can fix this on a bipartisan basis. You know, this is the right thing to do, and it's $6 billion in trillions of dollars in spending over the next decade. Why not stay through till Christmas to fix this? I'm willing to do that.
All right, well, I'm willing to cover it. Senator Kelly Ayotte, thank